Every day, we are reminded of the struggles, the triumphs, and achievements of our African-American ancestors. Their ventures for change and advancement paved the way for many opportunities we have today as African-Americans. So why is it that we, the African-American youth, dismiss their actions? Rosa Parks was one of the very first civil rights activists to boycott sitting on the back of the bus. Her arrest and trial for civil disobedience ignited the Montgomery bus boycott. Despite the ever-present danger and ridicule Parks encountered, she was steadfast in her journey to make a change. But what if there were others who strived and acted for the same goals as Rosa Parks, only they did not receive the recognition?
Personally, I really don't believe that she was worthy of the recognition, because she was about the sixth person to do that. And Claudette Colvin, she was the first. She was a 15-year-old teenager, and she sat on the bus. In actuality, her case was the one that went to the Supreme Court and won the case to desegregate buses. And Rosa Parks, that was Claudette's mentor, and she never gave her credit for anything. She always said, "Yeah, I was tired," but in actuality, she wasn't. She was doing that because the NAACP, they wanted an icon, and she was the perfect one. She worked for the NAACP. She was light-skinned. She had all the qualities that they were looking for. So she decided to take her stand. I mean, the opportunity just came up. So that
we really don't know what it was like back then. You know, we try to relate as much as we can, you know, but we really don't know what it was like. And that's my only issue. Because actually, if I was Rosa Parks back then, I probably would do it. I probably would, you know, because I like to stand for what's right, and I don't like, you know, to fall behind. And if I knew it was going to make a change, especially with being in the NAACP, I would have definitely done it.
I went to a diverse school, and it wasn't just the black people who wanted to sit in the back of the bus. It was white people, Hispanic people, Asian people. Everybody wanted to sit in the back of the bus. So whoever got there first was just, that's the way it's at. Because teachers don't sit in the back of the bus. Teachers sit in the front. So I guess it's just the cool thing to do more so than the black thing to do.
As we look around our society today, we see many variations in hair color, eye color, and skin color. Many people in our communities are dating outside of their race. A few decades ago, interracial dating was unacceptable, illegal in fact. So how many of us today feel that it is acceptable, and for what reasons?
I don't think I would feel uncomfortable. Now, I know if I was a male in that per se, and I was a white girl and I was dating a black man, I think I would feel uncomfortable. Probably because my family would probably snicker about everything he or she did. Like, per se, someone in my family is marrying an African man, per se, and they kind of snicker about the things that they do, that he does, how he treats her bad. And they snicker about stuff like that. And that's the persona of what we think of other cultures.
Good question and a good statement, you know, that we're talking about this, because really it just depends on, I believe, from hearing y'all's responses, you know, I think it's just based off of your family, you know, and what y'all beliefs are, because you know your family, you've been with them for your whole life. And if, you know, you bring home a white man, some of them be like, okay, because you already got white men in your family. It'll be fine and accepting you have a nice little life. But if you ever seen a white man in your family and you bring one home and it's being brand new, it's going to be a hard, you know, thing to deal with. And that's probably why you don't want to do it, or that's probably why you don't want to, you know, try to face, you know,
the obstacles.
Right, because that's going to be hard, you know. Yeah. But if you really love that person, it doesn't matter what your family thinks. That's what I believe.
The way she does, you can't help who you love. Love comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms. Just like when people say, I never date a big girl, or I never date a petite girl. Love comes any kind of way it comes, and you have to accept it or deny it.
That's right.
Emmett Till. Many of us are aware of the so-called punishments Caucasians felt justified in giving African Americans for alleged crimes they committed against other Caucasians. One of the more popular cases was the murder of Emmett Till. Emmett Till was from Chicago, the city, and was visiting relatives in Mississippi when he was murdered by J.W. Millam and Roy Bryant in 1955 for supposedly attempting to hit on a white girl. After short deliberation, Till's case was dismissed. Bryant and Millam were both acquitted. Why did Bryant and Millam feel it was okay to commit such actions? And why were the feelings of Till's family never considered?
Honestly, that was very disrespectful of him. But, and I mean, anybody can whistle at you, but that crime, I mean, what they did really wasn't, it wasn't sufficient for what he did. All he did was whistle. I can whistle all day long, and that don't mean that I ought to be hung from a tree because I whistle at a person of a certain race. And, I mean, KKK, they were terrible, and they were really prejudiced, and because they had that mindset that all Negroes, all blacks should die, I mean, I guess they felt what they did was justified.
The crime Emmett Till supposedly had committed was so minor compared to the punishment he endured.
Yes.
Can you imagine? I don't even have children, but I know mother would go crazy if she ever lost any of us. I mean, to take someone's life, I mean, you're not God. You're not supposed to do that. It's not your place. For whistling at somebody, they probably whistled at their own girls. I mean, he could have just been whistling a song. They don't know for real. And actually, I was watching the murder of Emmett Till, and they said that he had a stutter. So, you know, sometimes when he couldn't get his words out, sounds would come out, or like air, or whistles. I mean, there's all kinds of theories as to what actually happened, but none of us know except for God and the people who were there. But I just think that was so terrible, what they did to him. I mean, he was so young. I couldn't say he was a grown man. Maybe he was a little bit swole or something or strong. He was just a boy. He was like 13 or 14, right?
I'm not sure.
I know he was.
BET, Black Entertainment Television, founding a network created for African Americans by African Americans. Our chance to show America what we've really got. We were given the opportunity, but what did we really do with it?
Go ahead.
But you know, another thing that makes it, I mean, so controversial is because, yeah, you have your little nasty videos or whatever, and the next minute you're talking about how hip-hop is so degrading to African Americans. Now, how you gonna do that?
Americans in the best light as possible.
There you go.
Right.
We shouldn't be seeing black females shaking or chest all out, rear all out. That should have been the last thing that they have shown. They should have been trying to show the white people or the white man, whatever, that black people are something, that we are educated, that we can be just as successful in life or anything as them. That should have been the message they were
Right,
trying
because
to.
what is that saying about us?
Many people today have a lot of things to say about African Americans and their culture. There are many opportunities given in this nation, and there have been opinions about how African Americans evade these opportunities and take them for granted. A speech given by Bill Cosby has created a lot of controversy about African Americans. From a lot of people's perspectives, they believe that Bill Cosby has not done enough background information for him to speak so derogatory of his own culture.
Quote one, quote, Mr. Bill Cosby. Basketball players, multimillionaires can't write a paragraph. Football players, multimillionaires can't read. Yes, multimillionaires. Well, Brown versus education, where what we did, we do with it. The white man, he's laughing. He's got to be laughing. 50% dropout. The rest of them in prison. How do you feel about that, panel?
Well, he has a point. I'm not going to say he doesn't have a point. He does have a point. And it is quite ridiculous that you can play basketball or football or anything, have all this money, but you can't read or write a paragraph. That's crazy, but if they got that far in their life without knowing how to read or write, wouldn't you feel ashamed for yourself?
Right.
If you, I mean, you have to have everybody do something for you. Wouldn't that handicap you in a way?
We got to be educated. And the whole thing is based off of is who to blame. Is it our parents? Is it our grandparents? Is it us? Because I know
everybody.
It is everybody, and that's what I think.